We're here to talk about what would be the largest tax increase in a generation. If you go all the way back to the EIA, there has not been a tax increase on the populace of South Carolina of this magnitude, of this scale, literally in a generation. And so if you look at the numbers, what we're talking about here is $1.3 billion that was moved from the private sector and people's discretion on where they spend that money over to government. And so we may have different vantage points as to whether or not we think that's a good idea or a bad idea, but the numbers are irrefutable, and it's a $1.3 billion transfer that we're talking about one way or the other, which means that a lot of people on both sides of the aisle are very, very interested, either from a healthcare standpoint or from a tax standpoint. We're going to veto the bill. Some people will again agree or disagree with that, but we think it's very, very important given the scale of what we're talking about. I think we're really at the gut check point, really as a civilization. When you look at what's happening right now, for instance, in Europe, with groups, for instance. $1 trillion package was approved at the end of last week that basically was all about, and the riots going on right now in Greece, where folks are saying, no, we want to keep on spending at this level, even though it's absolutely unsustainable. If you look at the healthcare track on such as Medicaid, it's presently about 19% of the budget. It was 9% 10 years ago, and it's moving 29% over the next 10 years. It is going to take structural reform well past anything that a cigarette tax or 30 cents or 50 cents might fix. So I think this is about, one, a very, very significant tax increase, and whether or not we grow the economy or not by increasing taxes, and two, it's about this larger gut check on where we are on the trajectory of spending, which is a conversation increasingly people are having around the country. So that's where we're going to be. I would open it up to a number of colleagues. I know that it's busy right now, but you know what they think? Don, if I put you on the spot first. Yeah.
Governor, on behalf of our statewide coalition of county taxpayer groups, we are proud to stand with you today as you veto yet another attempt to raise South Carolina's cigarette tax. While some in the public may simply view this as a way to raise state revenue, many South Carolinians will see it for exactly what it is, a regressive and burdensome tax increase. This is also a clear-cut tax increase that violates the pledge of those legislators who promised to their voters not to raise taxes. In other states that have tried similar large tax increases from cigarettes to fund new programs, after their cigarette revenues declined due to the increase, ultimately their legislators have had to go back into the general fund to sustain this new spending. So ultimately, it will be all South Carolinians who will suffer from this planned expansion of more government spending. Today, it could be cigarette taxes, but tomorrow, it could well be gasoline, or soft drinks, or cable, or any other popular service that becomes a target for quick, fixed tax increases to pay for the program of the day. The governor is right to veto this tax increase, and our association calls on the members of the General Assembly to honor their tax pledges they signed and to vote to sustain his veto. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you for allowing me to be here. When I was first ran from the South Carolina House of Representatives, I was overwhelmed by the constant urging of those in my community who asked me not to turn my back on them the way Washington Republicans have done. I gave my promise that I would not let Columbia and its tax and spend constituency consume me. My friends, our single most unifying message, a message that has attracted millions to elect Republicans and a Republican majority here in South Carolina, is that we stand against tax and spend agendas. Today, I am standing up as I promised to those who elected me that I would deliver on my commitment to not vote for tax increases. We are a party with core values, and those values require us to say no to raising the taxes that fund a Medicaid program that is spiraling out of control in this state. I know the cigarette tax is popular among some, but it is just plain bad public policy to use it as a program funding source. As a legislative body, We can cobble together support to tax just about anything. But just because we can do it does not mean it's right. Yes, we are in tough budget times right now. We will be for some time to come. After we pass this tax, what comes next? We have infrastructure needs. Will it be a gas tax? Will it be a soda tax? As Republicans, and as a South Carolina leader, I am urging my colleagues to do what is right. Stop the tax and fund system of Obama's Medicaid mess and get back to the core values we stand for as Republicans. Thank you.